it is officially autumn and I am feeling autumnal. I just got back from Knit City a couple of days ago and I just had the best time. I think this was my favorite yarn festival that I've been to so far. It was my third one, and it was the first one that I went to with some friends who were knitters. So that was really exciting to actually go with people who are also passionate about knitting and yarn. It made such a difference to actually have people to shop with and hang out with and knit with and all of that. So it just goes to show how important the community is around knitting or doing anything that you're really passionate about. But anyway, I made some purchases and I would like to show them to you. I was quite modest. I feel like I was modest about my purchases this year. The first thing that I want to show you is this cone that I picked up. It is from Kensington Prairie Farms, and it is a 35% alpaca and 65% cotton. And there's not that much information on the label, but it's a DK-ish weight. And the lady said that it was about 2,000 meters worth of yarn. So that should get me kind of 2 sweaters, I think, if my calculations are correct. And I got this one to do the cable work sweater slash cardigan that I was telling you about from my last video, my autumn plans video. And yeah, I decided to go with the Siri cardigan. I think it was someone commented on that video and said that my eyes lit up when I talked about the Siri cardigan, so that was an indication that I should definitely do that one, and I agree. So I actually cast it on just today. Ooh. Sorry, my cat is doing things behind the camera. Hold on. Okay, I've had to move you slightly forward so that she can settle down behind. Oh, she's still shifting it a bit. She's just settling in back there. Yeah, so I just cast it on. It doesn't look like much right now. It actually just looks like a jumble of knits and purls and stitch markers. And I'm working some short rows, which is why I'm kind of in the middle of a round here, because when you work short rows, you don't work to the ends of rounds. You're working within it, you know. Anyway, so it doesn't look like much, so I can't really show you that much for it, but I am knitting the size large, and I'm knitting it on 5.5 millimeter needles. I'm holding it with some stash yarn, so this is Drops Flora, which is a cotton, no, it's not, that's a lie, a wool and alpaca blend. So this sweater will be made up, sorry for the shifting camera. The sweater will be, or cardigan will be made up of cotton, alpaca, and wool together, which I think will be nice. I did knit a swatch, and it does look very funky for some reason, but it hits gauge. Yeah, so, oh, this is in the color 22, which I think is called like Fog or something like that. I've just had that in stash for a while. So yeah, so I picked up that cone. It cost me 150 something or 40 something Canadian dollars. So yeah, it wasn't super inexpensive, but it is a lot of quantity of yarn, the cone that is. Okay, the second purchase that I made was this book. This is The True Cost of Wool, A Vision of Revitalizing the Canadian Industry by Anna Hunter. And she was there selling her own book, so she actually signed it inside. I've heard a lot of good things about this book, but I haven't started reading it yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it yet. But once I dive in, I think I will probably talk to you a little bit about what I find out. So I'm very excited to read this. I also bought a stitch marker, and I was with my friend Beth. Yeah, I went with 2 friends to Knit City. One, Beth from church. I know her from church, and we knit together during church. And then my other friend, who is my childhood best friend, and she lives in Vancouver now, which is actually the closest that we've lived to each other geographically since we were like 10, because she's been all over the place, and I've moved all over the place, and so now we're kind of we're about an hour and a half apart. She lives in the heart of Vancouver, and I live in Chilliwack down the valley. So we met up for Knit City, and yeah, we decided to get like friendship stitch markers, and I wish I got a picture of all of them together, because to be honest, I don't even remember what Beth and Kiara got. I don't remember, but I got the stitch marker that is a snowdrop. I was looking at the bird ones because I'm also a birder, and then Beth pointed this one out to me, which is the snowdrop, and she said, you have to get this one because this is perfect. Because my channel, of course, is called Galanthus Knits, and Galanthus nivalis is the scientific name for the snowdrop, which is my favorite flower. So yeah, my Snowdrop Knits YouTube channel, and I now have a snowdrop stitch marker. So I haven't used it yet, but I will very soon. I just wanted to show it to you in the package before I put it on a project. And then the last thing that I bought from Knit City are these two yarns, which I think I'm going to put together in my Christmas stocking. So I wanted to get a red for the stocking because I have a green already. And then I saw this one. Okay, I actually have some regrets regarding my decision making. But this one I got from Les Garçons, which is a male-run yarn company based in Montreal, and they were at Knit City, and they had this one, which I just fell in love with. It's a mix of two different yarns. They're plied together. And it's a red and then a sort of like beige color, and I loved it so much. And then they had this red by itself there as well, and so I was holding them together and I was like, this is perfect, but I want to mull it over and think about it. And there was tons of skeins of both of them left in the booth, but by the time I had lunch and went back to the booth, they were out of the red one, and it was called, ooh, what was it called? Something about a robin, or Alex's robin friend, or something like that. I'll write it on the screen. But I was a little bit heartbroken, and I asked the guy, like, do you have the red left? And he said, no, we sold out of it, unfortunately. And he said it's really hard to gauge which colors they're going to sell out of at these events. They never really know. So anyways, I picked this one up anyway, and then I went to a bunch of different booths to try to find a red match to go with this, and this was the closest match I could find. So this is Ancient Art Yarns, based in Alberta, and red brick is the color, and it's also a DK, but I will hold these together. But anyway, since I got back, I've actually been looking on the Les Garçons website at the yarn that I missed out on, and I might ask for some skeins of it for Christmas because I think it was the perfect red. This one is close to that one, but it definitely isn't as orange as this one. This one is more, I think it was called something about a robin, but yeah, like a robin redbreast, and this is less so. They still go quite nicely together, but yeah, I regret not getting the red when I saw it at first. This one, actually, it reminds me of two colored Latvian braids, which I think is why I liked it, because I really like that technique in knitting when they have the two colored Latvian braid, like on the cuffs of mittens or on the collar. I think it just gives like a really nice sort of folksy touch to a garment. But anyway, I think I'm going to use this as like the toe and heel of my stocking, and then this is the main color. I'm not sure. I'm going to do something Christmassy, but yeah, that's what I got. And that's everything that I bought in Knit City. So I didn't go too overboard. I think I was definitely within budget. I brought cash only so that I wouldn't go out of budget, and I had about $50 left over. So yeah, I'm pretty chuffed. Also, I finished both my Vilma top and my Olga jacket, so I will show you briefly, but I'll talk more in depth about them in the next episode because I will have more time to speak about it then. Here it is. It looks very, very bright in any sort of camera lighting, but it's a lot darker, or I don't know, it still is bright, but not this bright in real life. In the camera it looks quite bright. But I'm very, very happy with it. It fits really well. It has just enough positive ease. I feel like I wore it at Knit City, so I will insert my little fit check video with Beth. But I I really enjoy it. The yarn is super rustic, so it's definitely not a yarn that I could wear directly against my skin, but for a vest, that's totally fine. And I did go with these metal buttons. I posted on my Instagram story a poll which buttons to put on, and these are the ones that got the most votes, and I agree. Although it wasn't that, you know, it was pretty close actually in the end, between this metal one and then there was like a plastic white one with some like orangey flecks in it, which I also really liked, and I kept for just using in the future because I really like them. But this is the button that I went with. And then I finished my Olga jacket as well, and you know that I finished the Holger blouse for my daughter, which is kind of the matching of the Olga jacket. Hold on, I'm just doing a few buttons up so you can see it nicely. There we go. Again, I'll insert some B-roll footage, but I have been wearing this quite a bit on colder days. It hasn't been too cold yet. It still has been quite warm during the day here. We've had a few rainy, chilly days here and there, but most of the days in September have been sunny and dry and quite warm, so I haven't had too much of an opportunity to wear my woolly knits yet, but I have worn this as much as I possibly can, and I love it. I love it so much. It just fits my body really well, and I made a little reel on Instagram of mine and my daughter's matching knits, and I just, yeah, it kind of brought me to tears a little bit making that reel, because it feels really special to have that for me and her together. So I will, yeah, I'll just put it up on the side here so you can kind of see what it looked like. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Again, I will go a little bit more in depth with this project, I think, in my next video when I have a better chance to actually sit down for a good length of time.